the new My Lowe's Pro Rewards American Express card, earn 3 points per dollar spent on Lowe's qualifying purchases for the first 6 months after card account opening. Plus, save 5% every day on eligible purchases at Lowe's and earn points on eligible purchases everywhere else Amex is accepted. Card members get more at Lowe's. Subject to credit approval. 5% can't be combined with any other offer. Exclusions and restrictions apply. Points subject to loyalty terms at Lowe's.com/terms and credit reward terms at Synchrony.com/MLPRA-terms. Visit Lowe's.com/business credit.
It's Car Con Carne. Let's eat in the car. It's Car Con Carne. And now here's the star of our show, James VanOsdol.
This right here is Car Con Carne in the broad daylight. Car Con Carne sponsored by Exploding House Printing. Exploding House is here for all of your screen printing, embroidery, and other merch needs. They're local. They're over in Hermosa, and they focus on small businesses, bands, musicians, brands, everything in between. They worked on products for the Botanic Garden, the Broke Downs, Dante's Pizzeria. The list is seemingly endless, and you can check it out on their website. But Jonathan, he's the guy behind Exploding House, and he's been doing this for years, like actual decades. He knows what he's doing. Beyond technical expertise, he delivers production efficiency and cost awareness to offer boutique print shop quality at much lower large print shop prices. Check them out on Instagram at Exploding House, or check out their site at explodinghouseprinting.com for a quote or to see that list of all the clients. 20 years is an incredible run for an independent comic, and my guest today has been a staple. You've been a stable.
I feel like I've been in a stable my whole life. We hadn't been released.
That's right. He's been a staple of the independent comic scene for that long, 2 decades. No small feat. Dan Dougherty is back on Car Con Carne. We're celebrating the massive 20th anniversary of his incredible award-winning series, Beardo. Over the last 2 decades, Beardo's evolved from slice-of-life comics into a brilliant reflection on growing up, navigating life, everything in between. You, yes you, can be part of the 20th anniversary as the project is up on Kickstarter. Dan, we're outside Hamburger Heaven in Elmhurst. It's kind of like a halfway. I was trying to find a place that was halfway between us.
Yeah, because we got some distance between us.
We got some distance between us.
I mean, like that.
Not metaphorically. We're always right there.
We're close
right
at heart.
But there is some physical distance. So Hamburger Heaven in Elmhurst seemed like, it's 294 accessible, seemed reasonable.
Great drive.
But since we're at Hamburger Heaven, I got food for us.
Perfect.
And it's hot. You got like, what do you get? Like a lumberjack burger?
Longhorn burger. It's the horns are included.
Which is like a barbecue burger. Now, this place is an institution. I mean, you drive by. This is one of those places that's been here forever. Mm-hmm. Is that you?
This is me.
Well, let's see what you got.
Okay.
I haven't done food in the car for a while.
Look at this.
I hope there are napkins.
Look.
Oh, my God.
Oh, God.
Look
save
at
us
it.
all. Man, I should have worn a bib today.
You should have worn a bib.
Or like a full-on apron.
This is why I wear dark clothes, Dan.
I should have worn a beekeeper's outfit for this.
That's right.
I
just got a Chicago dog.
A Chicago dog.
Keeping it real.
Classic.
Mm-hmm.
Just like you.
Thank you, Dan Dougherty, creator of Beardo. Real simple.
No.
And I have not, I said it, I've not done podcast with food in the car in quite some time. So this is very exciting.
Are we doing it?
We're doing it.
Right.
Chicago dog. The pickle slices are an odd choice, but a pickle's a pickle. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sport peppers. Maybe a little heavy on the sport peppers. We're going to find out.
This is good.
It looks good.
Yeah.
I love a good Chicago dog. All right, so in between bites, Dan Dougherty, I said, you've been doing Beardo for 20 years. 20 years? Yeah, 20 years. For those who don't know, what is Beardo?
Well, oh man. Okay, what is Beardo?
More importantly, where are napkins?
I mean, I might use one of my books as a napkin at this point. Mm-hmm. I might need that amount of paper. There's our napkins. Okay, what is Beardo? What is Beardo? I've been asking myself.
You are Beardo.
I am Beardo. I got that nickname back when I was in college, and it was from a friend of mine's brother who's like, "Hey, what's up, Beardo?" I thought he had invented this, and turns out no, there's a lot of Beardos out there.
Was it meant to be an insult? Like,
no,
due to the beard?
He was respecting the beard. There weren't a lot of beard sporting guys in 2000. Yeah, 2000. But I started that comic, in 2006. It was just a way for me to vent after work. I was a struggling up-and-coming artist, and working at Starbucks as a barista. And by night, I was venting my frustrations through a comic. And then I, through just sheer chance, got into the Daily Illini in Champaign-Urbana as the first newspaper job I ever had. That ran for several years.
That's super cool.
It was, yeah. Like it's funny now because when I explain this to younger people, they're like, "What is this comic section you speak of?" And I'm like, "Oh man." It went in more. I guess with a little bit more prestige. I went into the Southtown Star, which that ran for almost 10 years. I want to say because I think the next year or so is when they picked me up, and that lasted all the way well past when my daughter was born. So I think that was about 9 or 10 years, but I was slowly pivoting away from not only the barista stuff, but the newspapers into just slice of life, kind of misadventures of adulthood humor, and also pivoting towards doing it as a webcomic, as something that people consumed online.
And is it exclusively a webcomic in the present day?
Yeah, except for the books. The only way to read New Beardo is on my Patreon. Or when I post it on my Instagram or my my other socials, Blue Sky, Facebook, all that stuff.
And it's at this point I bring up the fact that very few creators manage paid and Patreon-like platforms like you. You do an exemplary job on Patreon. Like the notifications I get in my email.
Yeah.
Like you're super active, and the Kickstarter, which we'll get into. Like you've really found your publishing niche.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, I feel like Patreon, I guess this may turn into an ad for Patreon for a second. I liked it because those are people who are there specifically to connect with Beardo. I didn't have to compete as much with all the noise of social media. And so when I would post something, I was posting directly into the circuit of my fans and my friends and people who just really, want to keep up with what I'm up to. I usually post like 6 times a week. 3 of them are usually 3 new comics, 1 throwback, 2 time-lapse videos, and then every now and then I throw some other stuff in there too. Like I'm really, it's really a nice way to humanize this what can be a very isolating experience. You kind of make comics in a confined space,
right?
And you never know who's going to like it or who's going to listen or who's going to enjoy it. So that gives that immediate dopamine thrill of like, I got people who enjoyed this one, or they liked my coloring on that, or they got they thought the joke was funny. So it helps me, and it actually helps me shape the book because if I think a strip didn't do so well, I might not put it in the book.
Right.
And it is really based on like
it's a focus group.
Yeah, it is like a focus group. Exactly right.
So it's a web comic at this point. You still, I'm looking at pen and ink drawings. Are you still doing all of your strips by hand?
No, I stopped doing that after Volume 5. I actually had to think about that when I was sorting through my archives, and I was like, yeah, it ended with 5. When I started Volume 6, I had briefly gone on a hiatus for a few years while I had my second kid and was just sort of enjoying being a dad and all that stuff. And when I started back up, it was during the pandemic. It was the old, well, it's what's one thing you would want to do if you had the time to do it. And mine was always bring back Beardo because, as I like to tell people, I ended it a little bit too soon, and I ended it without my son in it, and I felt that if he got to be a teenager... Oh, yeah,
the second child, yeah.
He'd be like, you don't love me because you didn't put me in this comic. And I just wanted to be a part of it. I really felt it was incomplete without Elliot, my son. So when I started back up, though, I did it only on my iPad. So there's no like original strips from that, or even this Volume 7 that's coming out.
All right, and Volume 7 is Generation X-Hausted.
Yes.
This is your mutant saga. You isolate the letter X.
Yeah. Yes, we all gained powers.
So you're Gen X?
Yeah, I'm right on. I'm 1980, so I barely make the cutoff, but I make it.
No, it counts. It counts. Yep. You're part of the don't give a fuck generation.
We don't.
Welcome. Glad
Thank
you're
you.
here.
Yeah. Latchkey kid. had to let myself in and out. I was there before computers and then after, all that good stuff.
And you have kids, I have kids. It's been said many times over by people smarter than us, kids will never understand what it's like to leave home in the morning, just say, I'll be back at 10. Mm-hmm. And parents just had to eat that. Mm-hmm. Like, just, that's the reality. We'll be back when we're back. You're not going to know where the fuck we are.
No. There's no tracking device. There's no phone. Mm-hmm. There's no GPS coordinator. It was just my bike and wherever I ended up going. My kids are getting really curious now, and they want to know what Dad was like when he was their age, which at this point they're 11 and 8. So, they're curious, and I do start telling them my experiences, and I just see them completely befuddled.
So what were you like when you were just clean shavo?
No, I had the beard at that age as well.
Oh, okay.
No. I was a pretty straight-laced, anxiety-ridden little kid of the 80s, and then by the time I was my daughter's age, that would have been 91. I mean, that was when everything changed and grunge hit, and got my first CD player. It kind of, the brain expanded right around that time. When I was my son's age, I was listening to Michael Jackson, and I was trying to moonwalk, and I thought He-Man and G.I. Joe and Transformers were the greatest things ever to happen, and I think I was outside all the time.
Had you at any point wanted to draw conventional, like, superhero books?
Not really, but I've come to change my stance on that. I've just, as you get older too, like, you start thinking, like, all right, I've done the thing that I wanted to do, for better or for worse, highs and lows of it. Mm-hmm. But I see sort of the appeal sometimes of, like, playing with the sandbox of the things that you love. Like, I know that, speaking of He-Man, like, the He-Man movie's coming out this year. I remember seeing the original one in the theaters and loving it. I know that now it's not regarded well, but at the time I was, like, I don't know, 6, and thought it was...
And at the time, I mean, that was state of the art. I mean...
That was a big deal. Skeletor looked amazing in that movie to me, and I was like... And that was, I think, Frank Langella, right? It was a great actor playing this ridiculous part. And now I'm thinking, I know friends who write He-Man. I know Tim Seeley, who's a Chicago guy, writes He-Man, and I'm like, man, it'd be fun to do He-Man, or, like, Ninja Turtles, or, like, stuff from my childhood, but in my own particular way.
From a content perspective, now, when you were coming up, starting this strip, talking about or illustrating life, different subject material, everything was kind of fair game. You have kids now, and you have to be a little more careful with how you navigate content, because you don't want to put anything on the permanent record that will fuck them up down the road.
Right. It's a lot harder to write about where they're at right now. I try to pick my battles to make it... I try to think about other parents and, is this universal, but is this also not offensive to my kids? And I also try to think about, if I was them, would they be upset? Would I be upset? Mm-hmm. And I will say that they read Beardo avidly. I think the thing that the most... So, like, Beardo's a independent comic still, despite the fact that it's got a publisher. I still treat it like an indie comic. It lives and dies by me.
Yeah.
And so it enjoys a modest amount of success, but it's not something that's gone beyond into the zeitgeist, with the exception of one strip, the infamous one that was my daughter growing up one.
Okay.
But that being said,
So the strip hasn't hit, like, Nancy level.
No, and I'm eating all the carbs. I don't care. I'll eat all of her carbs, my carbs. Mm-hmm. I'll say ack all you want. I've realized that one of the biggest successes of the strip is that my kids get to see who their dad was. And
I love that.
And it's really been fun. My son, this will change one day. I'm sure they're not going to read it forever, but my son and my daughter both read it pretty much almost every night. And they just pick a different book. My daughter favors Volume 5 because that's where she comes in.
Sure.
My son favors Volume 6, but they look at it as this little time capsule of mom and dad. And sometimes when I'm telling a story to try to, like, give them some perspective, I get checked by them because they go, Dad, you already wrote this in Beardo. You don't have to tell me. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, we're good.
My parenting is a very unique strategy. Chronicle your life for 20 years. And then you don't have to tell any stories.
So I find it very funny. I find a lot of what you do so relevant. I mean, you're everyman in this, and I think there are a lot of touchstones in what you create that we can all connect with. I want to get back to this is on Kickstarter right now. As a publishing model, this is a well you've gone back to, as opposed to shopping this to a publisher, or maybe you have, I don't know. But this, you figured out how to get stuff funded.
Yeah.
I mean, everything you've done has been funded.
Yeah, and it's all thanks to having platforms like that. Sometimes when I talk to college students at my school, I say, like, you exist in a time where this is possible.
Yeah.
There was a time where I never thought this was going to be possible.
Yeah, there was a very specific blueprint if you wanted to get this done.
It's only publishers.
And there were gatekeepers, and most people didn't get past them.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if Beardo would have. I'm not sure. It's such a... I remember getting rejected a lot, although the letters I've kept, and they're all very nice ones, because they would tell me, like, we really enjoyed reading this, and they would get specific about why they liked it. So I knew they read it. They were just like, I just don't think it matches what we're looking for, which typically was some anthropomorphic character. And I didn't have that. Actually, I made one for the strip just because of those rejection letters. Whiskers the drinking cat, who only shows up basically when I've been drinking. Mm-hmm. But it was a playing field that I guess I wasn't a part of, and that was okay, because it really helped me find my voice anyway. You know, it's like I still felt strongly about, like, I want to tell a story about me and about being a person in this timeline.
As we're sitting here, outside Hamburger Heaven, I did watch Two Cars Down. The person in the driver's seat of that car just threw his trash out the window.
Oh, come on. That's more like Hamburger Hell.
More like Hamburger Hell. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. You've been saving that for the right example. So, all right, it's on Kickstarter. Traditionally, I've seen people use Kickstarter and not do rewards, which I feel violates the quiet agreement we all have with using Kickstarter. Like, you kind of have to have rewards to get people engaged, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it's a way not only get the thing funded, but to get stuff that you make kind of especially, exclusively for that space, so that people feel...
They feel like they have ownership.
They're part of something. They're really, and and as someone who also has supported many Kickstarters, that's when I go into one, that's how I feel. I'm like, what am I going to get that supports the person, gives them the most bang for my buck, and then also gives me something cool, that I can kind of show off and say, like, hey, I was there.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny, I had L7 on my show last week.
Oh,
and
wow, that's incredible.
Before that, I was rewatching the L7 documentary, which came out like 2016 maybe. That was a Kickstarter project. Yeah. And as I was watching the end credits, I saw, thanks to our Kickstarter backers, and just, long list. And I thought, God, I wish I was paying attention when they put that in Kickstarter. I would have loved to have had my name on that.
Mm-hmm. I sometimes very big, very respectable artists, musicians do this because it's a direct route to their fans, and it makes everyone feel like they're part of something. That's cool that you did L7, by the way.
It's Anita Sparks. She's the coolest. So what kind of, while we're on the topic of rewards, what kind of rewards are you offering?
So, the book itself, obviously, is the thing that we're here for. It's this collection of 150 pages plus. I actually don't even know what the count yet is, because I'm putting it together now, but it's definitely the biggest Beardo collection of the 7. Obviously, all of the other books are something that people can get on board with if they need to. I've made these special Beardo 20th anniversary T-shirts, which
look at that.
You can get while supplies last on the Kickstarter. And in fact, I got one for you.
No way.
I did. Yeah.
Oh,
I'm assuming you are.
I'm large-ish.
Large-ish.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Yeah.
This is great. Thank you, Dan Dougherty, creator of Beardo.
Wear it in good health.
I will. This is awesome. Thank you this is very thoughtful of you. Thank you very much.
Yeah. I'm just happy to be here.
I like the idea of just having you close to my heart always.
Yes. And then I'm going to do something. There's going to be a little, some stuff that, like, there's prints and there's stickers and the usual stuff. But the thing that I've never done before is actually put original art from the first 5 volumes up for sale.
I think I'm surprised by that.
I wasn't sure if there was a market for it, to be honest.
Your napkin, your hands were...
They're still,
Dan's hands were dripping with burger grease and God knows what else.
It's a good problem.
How would you like a baby wipe?
Oh my goodness. Well, I mean, I am a baby. Look at me. I'm a big baby. A big baby who ate a big burger. That thing was good.
The fries are super salty, which is important.
Good to know. Yes, I will attack those next.
I think she lied about the straw.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
All right, stop the interview. Thank you. I actually brought a couple examples here. So, I up until volume 6, like I said, I did these traditionally. So there's going to be some that are pretty big ones. So, for example, this is the cover of Beardo 1. This is the actual art. And you can even see Beardo Volume, Volume 1. But this is my notes for what I should call it.
Oh, that's great.
Which ended up being the art degree guarantee, but this ended up being the title for the second volume. That's original. You can see my pencils in there. You see my signature, all that good stuff. Stuff like different sizes. So there's ones that were larger scale. Here's me ruining my wife's nighttime slumbers with my cold feet.
Nice.
There's the first appearance of where's that guy in there? Did I bring him up? Yeah. First appearance of Whiskers.
Oh, Whiskers, who only shows up when you drink.
Yep, only shows up when you drink. He's just one of those guys. There's a lot with like my dog and my dogs. I had these dogs, Penny and Abby, and they always got into trouble. It's one of my favorite ones, actually.
I love that.
Yeah. And
this is us when we're done, by the way.
Blazing out of Hamburger Heaven.
So long, suckers.
Yeah, so like stuff like that. They're all different sizes, but there'll be one price, and the way I'm gonna do it is first come, first serve. So if you pledge the earliest, let's say, you get first pick from a catalog that I will have online that will show all of the options that I'm going to put up. And there's going to be a lot. I think I've counted currently, I've picked at least 50 strips. So you would get the book with it, the new book, and then you would get first crack depending on where you rank in the pledge order.
That's really cool.
Yeah, thank you.
And again, I'm surprised you haven't done this yet.
Yeah, me too. And I've had a few times where someone personally sought out and said like, "Hey, is this for sale?" And if I had it, and they were, the price was right for them, I've given them a new home, and it's so fun. I know that obviously the money's a thing, right? But I love when people send me pictures of something I did hanging up in their house.
Of course, it's a high honor. I mean, that's because I only put so much stuff in my house. I'm like these. Because when you hang something on your wall, that's something that defines you as a person.
You're saying something.
Yes,
like, this is me. Yeah. So I hope people are into that, and I hope these strips find a lot of good homes, because I really would love to see them not just sit in a flat file and instead be out in the world.
All right. So the Kickstarter's happening right now. Since you're still putting together Volume 7, Generation X-Hausted, when do you estimate the book will be complete and in our hot, sweaty hands?
I put it as a fall delivery date.
Okay.
I'm debating...
just in time for the holidays.
Yeah, I mean, you'll get it before the holidays for sure. In the past...
Would you say it's the perfect stocking stuffer?
Yes, you can just roll it right up, pop it in there, pull it back out.
Sit around the fire.
And then if you don't like it, the fire's right there.
Yeah, that's right.
There it is. No, I think it actually probably will come out sooner than that, but I always like to, give people just a healthy window just in case. Like with the last Kickstarter, I actually was able to deliver way sooner than I anticipated. And in fact, almost all of my recent Kickstarters, I was ahead of schedule.
Do you, not to harp on this too much more, but do you have other creators come to you and say, how to teach me? Like, I mean, I know you mentioned you talk about it at school, but do you have other creators like, this is the model I want to go down. I'm sick of going old school. Younger ones for sure. And I've learned from a lot of people as well. Like I still continue to learn, because I like to watch people who I look up to and respect, and a lot of Chicago creators. Again, like people like Ryan Brown, Tim Seeley, Gene Ha, people who have these different kinds of fan bases and different kinds of products. But the way they do it, it always gives you some sort of education on, like where we're at right now, like what people are interested in. And how cool is it, by the way, that people have come around to Ryan Brown? His work is insane.
I love his stuff.
Yeah,
I love it so much. I've loved it for a long time, and I never thought this guy is going to be making stuff that is going to be on Amazon.
Yes.
Like, this is so, not to knock him, but I'm like, his stuff is so bizarre.
Yes.
And I mean that as the highest compliment, that I thought it was only for comics. Like, it's kind of why I loved him, is because I feel like his style and his sensibility is a perfect match for comics. But it always made me wonder, like, how would this cross over anywhere else? Because it's
like when Sonic Youth got signed to Geffen.
Yes, that's a perfect analogy. Yeah, so you're like, how is Sonic Youth going to make it work? And then they became Sonic Youth,
right?
You know, the bigger version.
Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, shout out to Ryan Brown.
You mentioned Tim Seeley earlier. Since we're talking about people in your community, you did some hack slash work.
I did, and I'm currently doing more. I did a little short story that was in the 6th omnibus for Hack Slash, and it was, you know, kind of something that came out of nowhere. I had worked with him, helping him out, inking a book called Pretty Evil, and really enjoyed the experience because it was a very different experience for me. I got to, instead of be the person who starts the page from start to finish, I got to jump in over his ideas.
Yeah.
And just refine and finish them. So, you know, it was a good experience. We worked well together, and he's like, hey, would you want to do, I had this little space I need to kind of fill in the story for volume omnibus 6. Would you mind writing and drawing it? And I was like, would I mind?
Yeah.
I'm like, count me in, buddy. And so that went well. And he actually took those pages and put them up on his Panel Punk Originals page, and those have been selling there. So that's been kind of fun. But then he said that there was another space that they kind of needed to have me hop in on. So I'm writing it right now, actually.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And this is maybe the 4th podcast I did. Like, I've been doing this the longest, obviously. Mm-hmm. He was on the very first podcast I did.
Was he really?
I did. The very first podcast I did, I started in 2006.
Okay.
And it was a comic book interview podcast.
Wow. Yeah. Man, I would love to hear that episode.
I would too. It's somewhere in my Google Drive.
Because I feel like that's when he started Hack Slash.
Yes, it was right around then. Yeah.
Because I think he also has a 20-year.
Yeah, we're talking Devil's Due back in those days.
Yeah. Josh Blaylock.
Yeah.
And all that. Yep. Sure.
I still have all those like one shots, and
it's so wild that's, man, you were there when it started.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
I'm not planting any flags, but I'm a fan for sure.
Yes, same. I mean, I've always thought he was really cool, and also just what a hustler. Like I thought I was a busy guy, and then I saw the workload he has.
But that's being an independent, isn't it? I mean, the hustle's the entire game.
It never stops. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm hustling right now. It's a Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, we're sitting here having burgers and talking shop.
Okay, so to summarize, Volume 7, Beardo 7, Generation X-Hausted, I enjoy your stuff to no end. I mean, like I said, maybe every other strip I find something that I relate to.
Thank you. That's a 500% batting average.
Yes. I mean, but some of it is very unique to you, and then some of it I'm like, oh, I see myself.
Yeah, that's the funny thing about this. I feel like when you put yourself in a self-imposed deadline, which I learned from the newspaper, you just start working, you start making stuff, and sometimes it connects, and sometimes it's more for me, and that's, again, where...
Oh, and I'm not saying it doesn't connect. I'm saying, like, I see myself.
Oh, you see
like,
yourself in the... even more so.
Oh,
okay.
no, I enjoy
everything.
everything.
You really got 1,000% batting average.
Yeah, no.
No misses.
I said that awkwardly. I enjoy everything you do, but, like, every other one, I'm like, oh, I see myself. Like,
sure,
I connect.
Thank you. That's exactly what the whole point of the strip is. So if I'm doing that right, then I feel like I'm winning.
You are. So, all right, it's on Kickstarter right now. They can search Beardo on Kickstarter to find it.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to find. You can even search just my name, too. You'll find it.
But then people might spell it D-A-U.
Or that Daughtry nonsense. That guy ruined my life.
Yeah, tell me about it. So, Beardo. B-E-A-R-D-O.
Yeah.
And then one of the things that we've done so many interviews through the years, Dan Dougherty, creator of Beardo. You're a musician. I mean, you're an accomplished musician. You put out records. In fact, I think you have a record here.
I do. This was...
For show and tell?
Yeah, a little show and tell.
This came out in the fall.
This was in the fall. This was also kickstarted for the vinyl. I mean,
Look at that cover. Look at that cover.
So I made this art a long time ago, and I always wanted to make it into an album cover. I just didn't know the right album, and this was the album that I was
Love
like,
it.
This is it.
Heyday.
Yeah, and then it was great, and I will shout out to Brian Turnbow, who did the design for the title. Did this on Procreate by hand.
Love it.
That was a great kind of capstone to several years of us being together.
That's fantastic, and we had planned to do a podcast interview to promote that.
Yeah.
Then my appendix exploded.
You know,
Thank you for understanding.
I totally do. In my mind, it was because the music rocks so hard it actually ruptured your appendix.
Right, my internal organs could not withstand the sheer force that you were committing to that vinyl slap.
Or the doctor's like, oh, he had a bad case of heyday.
So if people want to hear what the creative force behind Beardo sounds like on stage, you have a new band playing on the 13th at Chicago Street Pub in Joliet.
Yes. My new band is Retromance. This is something that I'm very excited about because I am in kind of a fresh group of musicians. We're all writing. In the past, it was primarily just me writing the songs, and so it's been really fun to play different roles and wear different hats. Mm-hmm. And the music we're coming up with, I mean, we've got 10 songs already. We have a full album ready to go at this point, and I cannot wait to show it off at the pub on the 13th.
Retromance opening up for Eve Casino.
Yeah.
But the reason we've gathered here today is Beardo. The strip continues. And does the strip continue?
The strip does continue. I do want, eventually, when prices aren't so insane, I want to create a definitive 20th anniversary hardcover compendium collection.
Like the omnibus.
The omnibus, the deluxe. I always think of, because, you know, one of my big heroes is Bill Watterson and Calvin and Hobbes.
Sure.
And when they made that big, you know, brick of a two book collection, I'm like, one day this will be mine. Which
look amazing on a bookshelf. I will say, just beware, they're impossible to read in bed.
Yeah, you are not wrong.
I do a lot of my reading before I go to sleep.
It's almost,
I would crush myself. You know, sometimes I fall asleep while reading. I would crush myself under an omnibus.
It's almost like it's just a totem that I want to have.
Yes,
like it's just like this is what I did. This is who I am.
I did most recently buy an omnibus, I think 2 weeks ago, off eBay. ROM Space Night Volume 1.
Really? You found it, huh?
I found it for like $30 on eBay. It's like a $125 list.
Oh, yeah.
But ROM Space Night, Bill Mantlo.
Yeah.
Yeah, classic stuff, Sal Buscema.
Yeah, that's a great comic. And then I think you had a comic in the pile, right?
A ROM, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think I spied one when you were...
That's, you know, we all retreat back to the stuff we grew up with, whether it's music or movies. For me, it's comic books. And for me, that sweet spot will always be Bronze Age.
Yeah, that's a great time.
It will always be, you know, Power Man and Iron Fist and ROM Space Knight and Micronauts and Son of Satan.
Yeah.
Love that stuff. All right, Dan Dougherty, I'm so excited for Volume 7. People, contribute. Get some cool original artwork. Get some handsome swag. Handsome T-shirts.
Handsome.
Look at that. Thank you. It's always good to see you. I hope lunch was tasty.
It was delicious and, you know, and messy, and I love it.
I do want to say, because we're at the end of the show, and people tend to not always stick through to the end, I'm going to tag this in the end. Coming next week, major announcement that is Car Con Carne adjacent. I can tag that at the end without drawing much attention to it.
Okay.
Major announcement coming next week relating to the world of Car Con Carne, kind of, sort of. Car Con Carne adjacent. Anyway, Dan Dougherty, thank you.
Thank you.